Hey guys, welcome back to week 3 of my experimentation with Tongkat Ali. As you may know, if you watched my first video, I've been sort of going down the path of natural testosterone boosters, and Tongkat Ali was the one that I researched and decided to test out for 60 days. If you're new here, I'm Matt, and I've been on Tongkat for the past 3 weeks now. So I recently had a testosterone result in the lower range of normal. And in a bid to sort of stave off a lot of the negative effects that I was associating with that, and perhaps any potential for TRT and any requirements for that in the future, I wanted to sort of find ways to support my testosterone levels and sort of overall well-being as I move into middle age. For those of you that are following along, you'll know that weeks 1 and 2 were actually pretty impressive from that. My energy levels definitely got a noticeable boost. My mood has felt a lot more balanced, which has been excellent, and I had sort of significant libido improvements. So yeah, if you haven't seen the first video, definitely check that one out first. So week 3, to be honest with you, I think it's been a bit of a mixed bag, mostly in a good way. In terms of the workouts and my strength, like I mentioned last week, I sort of feel like they're the same, if not they've slightly leveled up again. So I've been hitting some weights and some reps that I haven't been able to hit in a long time, and I just feel like my strength, endurance, and just sort of overall power has continued to improve. So Tomcat definitely seems to be helping in that department. But as I mentioned before, I don't know if that's simply the placebo effect, if my mind knows that I'm on something and I'm sort of just pushing a little bit harder. But whether it be Tonka or placebo effect, the effect is there, which is great for me. So I think in terms of, a slight negative, my evening fatigue seems to have increased a bit. I've just been feeling a bit more tired than usual in the evenings. I'm not sure whether that's directly linked. It's the summer holidays here in the UK, and that means I've been having to entertain a 9-year-old from pretty much 6 a.m. onwards, which is a great problem to have because he's awesome. But as anyone with kids will attest, it can be quite draining mentally. Just sort of 12 to 15 hours of answering why questions all day. So it's something I've noticed. I'll be keeping an eye on it, but yeah, definitely not a deal breaker. And if I notice any changes, I'll keep you updated. One interesting thing is that even though I am more tired in the evenings, I'd say I'm also feeling less stressed and anxious overall. And I seem to be winding down and relaxing more at bedtime. So actually, maybe this is just a normal thing. And my sleep has actually improved again. I track my sleep with a Garmin, and I know that isn't perfect by any means, but I think on a macro level, it's not too bad. And prior to this, my sleep could be anywhere from sort of the 60s to 70s out of 100. And this past week, I've been sort of low to mid 80s, which is a considerable boost. I've been getting slightly more REM sleep, more deep sleep, and that's been fantastic because sleep is just the bollocks. Again, maybe that's just a coincidence, but who knows? Maybe Tonkat or like some slight hormonal changes are having an effect there. One thing I was concerned with going into this was hair loss, and I know that is a concern for a lot of people that get onto this. One of the common side effects that people say is they sort of lose a little bit of their hair. I was worried about that myself as well, but I'm happy to report, like sort of touch wood, so far 3 weeks in, I haven't noticed any sort of shedding or thinning on the old mop. It's not as luxurious as it once was anyway, so I don't really want to lose any more, but 3 weeks in, we're all good there. One definite change that I've noticed, which has been a weird one and isn't very glamorous, is my body odor. It's just, I've had a bit of a change in my aroma this week. I'm not like a walking biohazard all of a sudden, but I've definitely had to spend a little bit more time in the shower, reach for the deodorant a little bit more frequently than before, And again, I did some digging online, and it looks like there's actually a link between increases in testosterone and body odor and sort of sweat gland activity. So while it is maybe not the most desired side effect, it could be indicating that, again, that there are changes that are happening and the stuff's actually working. So, it's not just me being paranoid. There's science behind it, apparently. And while it's not ideal, it's a small price to pay for a lot of the effects that I have seen. And, a little bit more deodorant completely staves it away. So the last thing is my skin this week. I've definitely noticed that it's been a little bit oilier, and I've had a few breakouts here and there, and actually I feel like I've been running a little bit warmer. Like my body temperature feels like it's been a bit higher. To be fair, like the summer here has been batshit. Like it's been pissing down with rain one day, and then the next day is 30 degrees, sunshine. So the humidity is just insane, it feels like. And it could be that that's just making me a bit sweatier and messing with me a little bit there. And that could have potentially contributed in some way. But again, I mean, I'll keep you posted on any changes. But yeah, that's it. Sort of 3 weeks in, and I'm still very happy with the progress and sort of my experience on Tongkat Ali as it goes so far. I think the gains in the gym and definitely my mood improvements and just sort of overall feeling of well-being, which was a huge one for me, is definitely worth noting. So yeah, Tongkat Ali, 3 weeks in, still good. A couple of minor blips, but I'm keeping a close eye on them. As always, I'll be back next week to see about any developments, improvements, sort of progress, hopefully some more positives after a month on it. We'll be halfway through. If you've got any questions or concerns or anything, if you're considering getting onto Tongkat Ali yourself, just feel free to ping me some questions. I'm always happy to chat and talk through my experience, or maybe you guys have got some things to point out to me as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you next week.